since we're here in praise of love. Love to me is a very human experience, right? It's something we all feel, maybe every day, but at some point throughout our lives. And it's this like blanket emotion that we feel. But it's also an incredibly individual experience. So no two people love the same way, no two people receive love the same way. And yet it's this thing that we all share deeply and truly, that we all feel at some point. And as a dancer, I think about dance in a very similar way, right? So we're all in movement all the time. We all wake up in the morning and we take off our comforter and we roll out of bed and we put on our clothes and we open our bedroom door and we make our coffee and we grab our car keys and we drive our car, and we're all in movement all the time. And similarly to love, no two people move the same way, even though we're all doing it all the time. So for me, every time you do one of those mundane tasks in a way that feels good, and you do it that way because it feels good, maybe it's opening a door and turning into it, maybe it's the way you pour your coffee and set it back on the stove, and you do something in a way because it feels good to do it that way, or because you feel beautiful doing it that way, that's dance, and that's when movement becomes dance. And when we meet those two things and we involve movement and love and how we express those things, there's gestures that we make that express how we're feeling, that express love. So what I kind of want to do, instead of there being this like audience stage barrier between the dancer and the seer, like maybe we can create this vocabulary of movement together. So when we start out and we're expressing love, and there's no timeline to these gestures that I'll move through. If you find a series of events in it, absolutely go with that. But again, no two people receive love the same way, no two people give love the same way. So maybe the first thing that we find is a giving, right? And you give attention and you give a compliment and you give your time. Maybe you give a gift, and it's a selfless act and it's coming from you. You lose a part of yourself willingly to give something to somebody, right? So there's a giving. And then maybe from there, there's an embrace, right? You close the distance between the two of you, and there's an embrace. And it's a wrapping in, it's a pulling in. It's a movement, a gesture of support, both emotionally, right? But also a physical take on of somebody's weight, right? And maybe as time goes on, does that embrace get bigger or smaller, or are those two things the same, right? A big embrace is sometimes a small embrace. So we have a giving and we have an embrace. And then maybe a gesture of kindness, right? A gentle touch. Moving the hair out of someone's face, picking lint off of a t-shirt, holding a hand when it's cold, a kiss on the forehead, right? Or offering a tissue for a tear. But it's gentle and it's kind and it's out of the way and we don't have to do it, but there's care given in that. So we have a giving and an embrace and a gentle touch. And when gentle touching turns into gentle touching, and there's an eros and there's a passion, what does that look like when I'm alone in a living room in front of all of you and I don't have anyone to share that with, right? What does that look like? And we have a giving and an embrace and a gentle touch and a gentle touching. And then maybe we get to a point where we put down an armor and we put down a mask and there's an opening that happens. And it's similar to giving, where it's coming from you, but you're not losing anything in that gesture. Giving, you're taking a piece of yourself and you're offering it to somebody else, but opening, it's more of a shining from inside. And maybe that opening doesn't happen right away, and we have to go back to giving and an embrace and a gentle touch and a gentle touching, and then an opening. Oh, and maybe we start over again. And gentle touching and an opening. And then a gesture that I think is unique to the way that I express love is maybe similar to an embrace, but a closing in, when layering and repetition and friction can turn to heat, like keeping close. Like keep you in my pocket with me all day. You know, I always have you right here and I keep you close. So we have a giving and an embrace and a gentle touch and a gentle touching and an opening and a closing. And now we have this vocabulary, all of us in this room. We have this vocabulary of movement and we're speaking the same language. And that's when movement turns into dancing. And then when I stop talking and I put these words, this vocabulary, into patterns and structures, that's when dancing becomes a dance. Thank you.